why should we read? Well, if I'm the only one reading, and you allow me to teach you, you have now given me the power to choose whether I tell you lies or the truth. Read. When we live in the land of the free and the brave, and bear witness to days where the bold and courageous are praised for having self-confidence. Woke. A self-confidence that only knowledge builds. Read. Dive deep between pages, push back the covers. Be awakened by your dreams and the dawn of new days. Woke. Eyes bright, wide, seeking answers and secret treasures that are buried only in books. Read. Expand your vocabulary. Read. Expand your mind. Expand your imagination, your horizons. Exercise your determination to develop such spectacular vernacular with diction so proper that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Read. Challenge social norms. Turn pages. Watch words bend and new worlds form and unfold right at your fingertips. Read. Select books that have titles that reflect images of your heroes and idols. Read. So from September 15th through October 31st, let's all dive headfirst in books from 10 diverse categories. Read. Books that tell stories of triumph. Read. Books that inspire a higher level of respect for another person's perspective.
The word literate means?
Illiterate, yes, can't read.
Okay, illiterate means you can't read. So what does it mean to be literate then?
To read.
That you can read and write and all the things.
So you can get like an IT job.
Okay, IT job.
You never know what you're going to do.
You never know what?
What you want to do. College.
What you think? College? Okay.
Alright. Literacy is super important so that when you get ready to go into the real world, you're able to navigate and you're able to answer all the questions, you're able to read your contracts and be able to be successful.
Thanks, friend.
To be literate means to have better opportunities, as in job opportunities, school opportunities, and being more intellectual. But with these skills, I'll be able to know more about the world, have better opportunities like previously mentioned, and know more about my surroundings, and even expand my social network.
In my own words, it's just like you able like to work, like able to read and write, and if either like you don't know how to do like read and write, so the simple things to like
working at like any type of store that has to do with money, you still need to know how to read and write because write down the check.
Mm-hmm.
I would need computer stuff like that because like I would be a realtor when I grow up. So like you gotta like list the houses and hit the description of the houses and hit the price and that's a lot of work. You gotta use computers and phones, so you need to know how to use the computer and the phones, like do all the stuff right.
It's important for you to know how to read and write because without those skills, you can't teach yourself new skills. You can't have a job, know what applications ask you, apply to apartment, buy a house, buy cars. You need to know those skills. Make sure that you understand what you're reading and what you are signing off for before you buy anything. For me, reading and writing, how that has helped me out is without those skills, I wouldn't have been able to taught myself how to make websites and how to make apps.
I always want to know how to read and write. You can get you far when you know how to read and write. Read and write in sports because I want to know like how to say the plays right, be able to read it to the players, you know, like write it down, like come up with my own plays and stuff.
Reading and writing is important because it's something that we use in everyday life. This is something we need in everyday life.
Okay.
And something I want to do in my future basically is to, like, I want to be a real estate agent and a nursing, so I know that's going to take a lot of reading and writing.
To me, literacy means being able to communicate with the world around.
I feel that it is important to be able to read and write because
you wouldn't know what nobody is saying, or if you gotta do an assignment, you wouldn't know what he's saying. You would have to ask somebody for help all the time just to get through it. And if you don't know how to read or write, you wouldn't be able to answer the problems that you go through and talk properly. So I feel like that's why it's important to be able to read and write. And it's important for me, because what I want to take in, I want to be an engineer and investor. So you gotta be able to move around that, and if you gotta build something in engineering, you need to know what the part it is that you would need and know where you need to put it with the other part. So you would need to know the name of the pieces, and if you can't do that, you don't know how to read or write.
Well, to me, being literate means to be able to communicate effectively, like using your reading and your writing skills.
I need to know how to read and write so I can read the body, understand where they're at, know the address, know the description about the person. I need to write so I can take some notes down about the house. If I gotta go watch the house for a week, I need to take notes down about who entered the house, who exited the house.
Okay.
It's important to read and write because reading and writing expands our ability to communicate. Reading and writing is kind of like being able to communicate with someone over space and time. So for example, Shakespeare wrote his plays 400 years ago, and yet when we're reading Shakespeare, it's almost as though Shakespeare is communicating directly with us. It's also important for my future self to continue learning literacy, writing, and computer skills because I'm a lifelong learner. And these skills are crucial for expanding my current knowledge.
Okay, so if you didn't know how to read or write, you wouldn't be able to operate. You wouldn't be able to really function in this world. You would just be there. You wouldn't be able to do anything. And then secondly, for my future, if I didn't know how to read or write, I could potentially poison you because I'm trying to become a chef, and if I can't read the directions, I could just throw anything in there. You could have an allergic reaction, or I could start a fire. Anything could potentially happen.
Alright, so for me personally, in the future, I want to be a child therapist or psychologist. So it's important for me to read and write because for that you have to do a lot of reports and you have to take a lot of notes. You have to do a lot of things with the computer to make sure that you got all your patients' diagnosis and what they need and things for them to do to get better. So it's very important for me to be able to read and write well so they can understand what they need to do in the process they need to go through to get better.
Reading is important to me because no matter what I have wanted to do in my life, if I could comprehend what I was doing, then I could do it. If I struggled in trigonometry and I had the right notes, then I was straight with math. If I needed to learn how to do something new at work, even like technology based, if I could read it, then I could do it. If I could write it, then I could do it. So that's why reading and writing is important to me. Literacy will always be important to me.